Welcome back to the GODSUccess Teach and Pray. Today's verse is 2 Timothy 2:15, and our topic is show yourself approved unto God. This is yours truly, your MC and engineer, His Excellency Dakar, and I'm the Director of Operations here at GODSU and the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, which is an international graphic and printing company providing you with all of your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. Our popular products are GODSU African American Bibles, as you see here. We have magazines, we do flyers, branded golf shirts, we do branded jackets, as you see myself here. We do branded golf shirts. We also do digital business cards as well as printed business cards. And you see we do rings as well. And we also turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. Without any further ado, our leader for the day, Chancellor, the Right Honorable Her Excellency, Attorney Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, please take us away.
All right. And you know what I love? I love that you style me every single day. I mean, just look at this. Look at this gentleman, okay? He's just doing it. And thank you so much for styling me. 2 Timothy.
Yes.
My goodness, my goodness. I just love if everyone would definitely go back and read that. And it's very short, study to find yourself approved. That's exactly correct. And so a lot of us in talking to people, a lot of people will say, well, I don't need to study. I can just Google everything. Well, where do you think the Google comes from? That's somebody's opinion. We must go ahead and read for ourselves. I've actually sent, you've seen it, where I've sent a email or a text, or the school has sent the email or text. What do students start doing when we send them something to read? What do they do? They call, and I'm like, and they're like, what did you send me? I'm like, that's why it was sent, so you could what? Read it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Malcolm X said that if you want to hide something from certain people, where should he put it?
In a book.
And at first I used to be so insulted. I was like, how could he say that? We all read and we all comprehend and until it happened to me. And I said, oh Lord. So I want to really use this statement, 2 Timothy 2:15, to say to you that you must study whatever topic that you're interested in. Do the research. Don't just Google, but get a book, get several books. And before you even read a book, shouldn't they research the author? Because the author could be a nincompoop. What do you think?
Yeah, they should use Google. Research.
No. Not
No,
research the book. Right. Research the author because, and the other thing too, I've heard like a lot of people, you ask them about something. Oh, women are not supposed to be leaders in the Bible, in the church. They should not lead the church. And where did they say they get that idea from?
Oh, was it the Bible?
No, the pastor said it.
Oh, the pastor.
The pastor said it. He said to read it for themselves. And the thing is that, yes, there's a section in the Bible where there was a woman in one church who was talking too much during the service, and they gave her that instruction. Guess what these buffoons are doing now? Guess what they're doing now? Saying that no women in the entire history of mankind in a church can lead. They have forgotten about Esther. They've forgotten about Mary Magdalene. They've forgotten about Ruth. They've forgotten about so many women. God even used Rahab, a prostitute, to actually save the children of Israel, the Hebrew. God can use anyone. He can use a child. I want to let you guys know, you grown folks out there, let me tell you something. And a child will lead you. Years ago, when the concept of GODSU was put together, it was children that handled all the technology. It was children that handled so many parts of what need to be done. And yes, a decade later, they look like this, but didn't always. So I respect people based on what they bring to the table. I don't just look on age and say, oh, you're on the 20, you're on the 50, you're on the 40, you're on the 30, so you have to be relegated to the back. No, anyone who is knowledgeable and has taken the time to study, to show themselves approved because they can do the work, they ought to be paid. They ought to be respected. They ought to be heard and listened to. I remember people, when they would meet my father, the patriarch here at GODSU, they would say, children should not be heard. They should sit in the back. My dad would tell them, oh no, because at 6 years old, I was the one answering the phone at more transport service. Oh yes, I was. I was the one doing that, because not that he didn't have hired people to do it, but he knew that, his children, if more than anything else, would have their back. And if you look in the Asian community, how do they run their businesses?
Oh, yes. So they have a two-story or more housing, and they have the business on the first floor, and they sleep on the second floor.
And what about their children?
They're they sleep on the second floor and they work on the first floor.
Absolutely. And what do you say even about Donald Trump? What does he do with his children?
Yes, they sleep on the second floor and they work on the first floor.
And what do you say about the children of Charles Moore, your grandfather?
They, yeah, I think you guys are getting it. They sleep on the second floor, they work on the first floor.
So, and when you have some of the great people like Steve Jobs and some of the great entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos,
They sleep in their office.
I know. And when they started their businesses,
yes,
where was their business set up?
Yes, it was either in the garage, a basement, or a bedroom. So
absolutely. And so we need to stop looking down on small beginnings,
yes,
because everybody in their business starts somewhere. And when you have a business, don't you have to study?
yes.
Don't you have to put in the research and put in the time? One of my mentors is my brother, Dwight, and I looked at his work ethic. He would read every single magazine. He would read every book on a topic or on a subject he's opening a business with. By the time he opened that business, he was the top person, to top researcher on every single angle of that. And that's the approach I used. I remember when I was opening my law firm, after I left the White House and I was setting up my law firm, and I did the same thing. And I actually did an apprenticeship, even though I was an attorney, apprenticeship in somebody else's law firm, that was at least 150 miles away from of the way I planned to do mine, so it wouldn't be big competition, and learned how to do every single thing. If she laughed, I laughed. If she yawned, I yawned. I wrote it down and I learned. And that particular situation in that particular law firm, they treated me very badly. I was one of the only people of color in that particular law firm, but I didn't use it as an excuse not to succeed. I looked at it as, I don't care how they treat me. I need to be here for 3 months so I know exactly how everything needs to be done. And once I got that, then I left, opened up mine, and mine was even more successful than the other person's. But I humbled myself. I studied. Those people who are complaining and whining about who didn't do this and they're waiting on reparations and all of that. Yes, we need to get reparations, but that may be 100 years from now, that may be 10 years from now. I'm not planning or depending on anyone to give me anything. My dad taught me that. My dad, actually, he was downtown Kingston, and didn't have bus fare to get back up to Red Hills where he lived. He said he went to a man and asked, he said, "Sir, I need a bus fare." He was probably 10 years old. "And I need to get back home." The guy turned around and said, "You give me nothing to put down?" He said he was so embarrassed. He says from that, he has never begged for anything. Anything that he wants to do, he studies it, he brings around advisors, he prays on it, and he goes and he gets sets out and does it. But he doesn't wait on anybody. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve it. It just means that you know that you cannot depend on the kindness of people. You can only depend on God to give you the ability, the life, the breath in your body. And then you have to get up off your behind and stand on your feet and go and do the work. Yes, you do. And people think that's aggressive. It's not. That's the way it's done. I've read the Bible from beginning to end several times over and over again. And not once did I hear Christ begging. I saw where he had many businesses. He was a fisherman and he was a carpenter. I didn't see him standing in anywhere begging anybody for anything. So my whole thing is this, is that, and even with what he had, he would go and he would share. So I'm not saying that don't help other people. I'm saying that you have the ability to help yourself, and that should be first and foremost. And that is what we teach here, is find what it is your definite purpose. Whatever it is that you feel you're called in life to do, study that, get a mentor, be the best at it than anybody else, market it, and go do it. Here at GODSU, if you want to do something, there are so many people who are experts in it already. Bring your expertise, help somebody else. Somebody else takes your expertise and help you. But that's how we move. That's how we do it. So with that said, you have anything else to add? Entrepreneur extraordinaire, 23 years old, just rocking business. You have anything else to say?
Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Oh, I love working with this guy. All right. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and listen to the messages afterwards. I am Her Excellency, Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, and I'm the chief servant leader here at GODSU. Take off all of this, put on some sweats, and get to work, because work has to get done. I'm also the provost at Global Bible Institute, where we have all your Christian studies. At Global Ovid Day, which is our interfaith section, you can learn about entrepreneurship, chaplaincies. We have a great course coming up, Action 2.0, with the great Dr. Michael V. Roberts, one of our first African-American billionaires here. And no, Dad didn't give him anything. So he got it by washing cars, mowing lawns, going into politics, he's the African-American that's owned the most shopping centers, most strip malls, most cable TV stations, most satellite companies, I can go on and on and on, most hotels, on and on and on. And he did that starting with nothing. So, he's here. Please register. It's $333, and he's personally teaching it. It's his voice, okay? It's him doing it. So definitely want to get you involved in that. I'm also a board member, executive board member for the Minor Football League, which is the first and only professional football team that acts as a feed to the National Football League. So you definitely want to hear about us. You can reach us on mflishere.com, and we are the Laboratory of Change, just so you do know. Also, the first female owner to buy a professional football team. Dad didn't give it to me, husband didn't give it to me, bought it. So we're encouraging everyone, young, old, women, men, black, white, whatever, to not let artificial barriers stop you. If you want to do something, go for it. Surround yourself with at least 5 people with like minds, because whoever you surround yourself with, that's who you become. Okay, you're the average of the people who you surround yourself with. So if you want to be homeless, hang with some homeless people. If you want to be smart, hang with some smart people. And the thing is that we used to be homeless, right? There was a time when that happened, and it was out of our control, but we never stopped working, just keep working. And in fact, now we help people who are homeless, because we know that some people are in circumstances because things happen, but don't stay there. Don't just whine and complain. Reach out to folks who would want to help you. Reach out to folks like myself who've been through that. So I don't look down on anyone who is there, because I've been there. I just don't stay there. We fall down, but what do?
You have to remember to get up.
That's right. So that's what we're talking about right here. And we're here to help you with that. I'm a licensed financial advisor with Invita Financial Network, and we help you to make sure that you have your life insurance, your annuities, your retirement. We teach you how money works, and we teach you financial literacy, long-term care. We show you how you can open accounts that can turn into a bank. Basically, you can borrow from yourself, on yourself, your children, your grandchildren. We show you how to do that. And I am also the national president for the New Future Foundation, Inc., the Jamaica chapter, a United Nations NGO in Jamaica. And we're under the auspices of Queen Mother Dolores Blakely, who has been in the UN for
over 51 years.
That is correct. So we're celebrating her. And we just want to let you know that we love you guys. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and listen to the messages we have below. We're here 24/7, Monday through Sunday. Thank you.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: entrepreneurial studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy diploma, love and spiritual, interfaith, and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CompTIA accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Nusifor, billionaire builder and dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale, President of Fraser Net and Fraser Nation and Power Networking Conference, Dean, His Excellency Dr. George Fraser. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, PhD, Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, PhD, Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, JD, PhD, Dean of Entrepreneurship Studies, Dean George Fraser, PhD, Personal Development Studies, Dean Kyra Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, PhD, Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Reverend Dr. Joseph Hickman, Associate Professor, Theology Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake, Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar, Ethical and Successful Marketing Technique, Entrepreneurial Studies. Blessed